Welcome to Evolving Women. I'm Teresa Lysam. If you've ever asked yourself, is there more for me in this season of life? Then you're in the right place. Here we talk about the bold, the beautiful, the messy journey of midlife reinvention. Let's get
Hi,
started.
everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Evolving Women. I'm Teresa Lysam, and I'm here today with my amazing guest co host, Carolyn Hobbs. Hi,
Hello.
Carolyn. So glad you're here. Thank you so much for taking out some of your time to speak with us today. And I'm going to introduce you as the Queen of Cards, which I love that title. I'm still working on my own title, what I want to own, but how did you get to that point where you are the queen of cards?
Well, it all came about. We were myself and Sean Hewitt from the Trusted Business Association. We were throwing ideas around, and he came up with the idea. Well, why don't you enjoy sending cards? You're a woman sending cards, so why not make it the Queen of Cards? And it kind of stuck. So, yes, that's how that came about. Very simple.
I know, I love it. It flows off the tongue so nicely, and we know exactly what you are, who you represent, like what you're all about with
Yeah.
those short couple of words. So, how did you get to that point? What were you prior to being the queen?
Well, going right back to when I first started, so it's coming up for 20 years in May. I It was kind of like a side hustle alongside a full-time job. Much to my now ex-husband's disgust, I might add. He did not like me doing it at all. Yes, it was quite a thing. I went to a show, and it was a horse show, and they had a craft tent, and they had all sorts of crafts in there, and I
Mhm.
was just sort of looking as you do, and came across this lady, got chatting with her, and thought, yeah, the designs are quite nice. I took some information and brought it home, and I've always sort of made my own decisions. I've never really got permission from anybody else to make my decisions for me, and I decided to sign up. And he wasn't particularly enamored with that decision. But anyway, it was tough luck. I was going to do it anyway. And
Yeah.
so we just sort of went along. So it started out, it was a multi-level marketing company, and
Okay.
our brochures from them. We had a website that came with it within the amount that we paid, which was a minuscule amount that
Mm.
we paid each year. And yes, I sort of built up customers in the village that we lived in. And I used to go to a few fetes and fairs to sell the cards.
Mhm.
And it just sort of grew from there, really. And yes, yes, over time, I can't really quite believe it's 20 years in May.
Wow. That is, yeah, time goes fast, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it sort of it slips by,
Mhm.
when you enjoy yourself.
I was just going to say, and hopefully we're enjoying ourselves along the way.
Yes.
I never want to be the person that realizes one day, like, oh, all that time passed and I was miserable. No, I was delighted with how, my moments in time. I just heard something in the last 2 days, somebody was talking about it's those moments that make up our life. It's not the big things, it's
Yes.
those little daily, weekly things where the richness is, and the joy. And I think the more we pay attention to those moments, the happier we will be.
Yes, I think so. And I think you're right. It's the little things, it's the little moments that make up the big picture.
Hmm.
It's not the elaborate big things. It's everything. Well, it's those plus the little things,
Right,
isn't it?
right,
That make up the bigger picture.
right. And I think
Yeah.
sometimes people are waiting for that big thing to happen so that their life will be different. And I
Mm.
don't think it works that way. Like we just said, it's those little incremental
Yeah.
joys and what you're grateful for that lead to the bigger things.
Mm. Yes, yes, you're right. And and then you build on those. You
Mm-hmm.
build it's like a sort of step ladder, isn't it? You sort of the little things and you sort of build on that and you work your way up the ladder. So you make it up to how you want it to be. And then it's the little things that happen when you get to where you want to be.
Yes, yes, yes. Please don't get there wondering where all that time went and you didn't pay attention to those moments. So,
No,
yeah,
exactly.
we're definitely on the same page there.
Yeah.
So you did have a full-time job. You're making the cards? You
No,
create? Oh, okay. I thought maybe you
no.
were.
Yeah, no, I don't make them. So when we first started, they were a company that fundamentally used British artists and the British print industry. So they were a printing company, and there were artists that they went to, and they had themes. So what they used to do, they used to have a theme of cards that used to come out quarterly. So I don't know, some might be nature, it might be uh, architecture and
Hmm.
just those themes. And then they would go to the artist and say, well, this is going to be the theme for the next time that the cards come out.
Okay.
Can you please design something like that? So then the art director would work with the artists and they would submit the work. Can you tweak that a bit? And so
Hmm.
they got it quite just right how they wanted it, and then the print runs were done, and then the cards would come out. So it was a perpetual sort of conveyor belt. Christmas ended, Christmas then started in January for the designs for the following year. It
Yeah,
was just a perpetual,
right.
way of just doing it. And that's how that industry is. And I think probably a lot of other industries are the
Right.
same,
Right.
fashion and all sorts.
Yeah,
So
yeah. They're
yeah,
they're planning way far ahead in the future.
yeah.
And I wish I could be that much forward thinking,
Yes.
but I cannot. But always got to keep on top of that so that they're ready for when that season, that holiday comes up.
Yes.
And I do want to applaud you for making your own choice about getting into that. Because I know MLMs can be misunderstood
Mm.
and a lot of people don't really understand them. I don't know if that was the case with your husband or if it was something else, but good for you for making your decision and moving forward with it despite what other people thought.
Yes, I mean he wasn't particularly in he didn't know about MLMs, or he made that impression.
Mhm.
He just didn't want me doing something that wasn't involving him. He thought, you get married and you're joined at the hip.
Yeah.
Not my That wasn't my idea quite. And he did at one point go to my mother and say, because I used to organize different things, and he apparently went to my mother and said, my late mother, and said, "Is she ever going to stop?"
Probably not.
No.
Good for you. And I do think, again, we are really lined up with a lot of the same ideas. As I've been in a long-term marriage for over 40 years, a really long time. We've morphed, at least I have morphed into different people, but we have never been joined at the hips. We've always done our own thing, supporting each other, even if we weren't happy with the choices that the other
Mm,
person made. But I think that's what makes it a viable marriage, a sustainable marriage. You're
yeah.
respecting the other person's choices
Hmm.
and supporting them no matter what.
Yes. It's give and take, isn't it?
Yes, yeah,
We're not all the same. We're not textbook people. Um, if we were, it would be a very boring world because we
right,
we need different things to have a conversation about. And if you were perpetually with the other person or doing what they liked, you'd have no conversation, and it would just die, wouldn't it? Because
right.
there would be no substance to anything, any conversation that you might have. You would just sort of sit there in silence, and that's not the point.
Now, let me ask you, do you feel you've morphed into a different person according to different phases of your life or things that were happening, you know, at that age or whatever?
Um, so when I got married, um, picked my best friend, she saw that I changed, and as soon as I decided to leave, uh, I became the person that I was before I got married. So I sort of you change because you can't see the wood for the trees.
Right,
You
right,
change along and you just go along and you don't realize there's been change.
right, right. And it's not until retrospect where you're looking back over a period of time like, oh, like I don't think like that anymore. I
Mm,
believe different things now. So I guess that's all part of the growth, our
yeah.
personal growth path.
Mm.
Some of us relish and enjoy and embrace personal growth, and some of us do not. Because it is safer not to grow, not to
Yeah.
try different things than it is to step into something uncomfortable.
Mm. And I think we grow anyway, don't we? We grow as
Right.
people as we get older. So some might have goals and set this and set that. That's the way they like to have that control over things.
Mm-hmm.
Others like to just sort of bumble along and, you'll change with this or change with that. And
Right, right.
yeah, I think there's sort of different paths you can take. But I mean, I've never set goals in my life. And when I did, they all went wrong. So I didn't bother, I
So
didn't bother anymore.
does that mean you just say yes to opportunities that are presented to you?
Why not?
Okay. That's because not everybody does that.
No. But yes, and if it worked out, it's great. If it didn't, you tried.
And you could pivot and try something different.
Yeah.
Yeah, which I think there's a fear factor for some of us that keeps us stuck in a decision that is not working out anymore
Mm,
because we're afraid either of making the wrong decision, we don't trust ourselves enough to pivot and change and step out
mm.
of this situation, try something different. I don't know. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think that yes, I think you're right. I think people, it's what's going to happen? It's the
Mhm.
unknown, isn't it? People
Yeah.
don't like the unknown, going into the unknown. But I was brought up, my late mother, she just had a go at everything. So I think I've got some of her genes. And just sort of, well, if somebody suggests something, you have a moment, you have a think, and you think, well, why not?
Hmm.
It can't hurt to try something. And if it doesn't work out, you gain the experience,
Yeah.
you've
Yeah.
learned something through that process, but it didn't work out. So you just go on and go back to maybe what you were doing or go on to something else.
Right.
I don't think it ever hurts to try something new. You sometimes have to go out of your comfort zone. Yes. But there's no harm in that.
Yeah. What a message. Thank you so much. Um, yeah, don't be afraid to try something new and trust yourself that you'll figure it out. Like I said, either go back to the way it was or
Yeah.
try a different path.
Hmm.
That's what life is all about, I think, is to trying different things. But
Yes.
can you talk about any point in time where you were in a really uncomfortable situation or you made a decision that wasn't quite right for you? I guess pushing your comfort zone is what I'm trying to get at, where you push that comfort zone so that you could do your growth during your growing process.
Do you know, I can't really think of anything that I was uncomfortable with.
Oh, that's
Um,
awesome.
yeah. I mean, the only thing I guess was making the decision to walk out of my marriage because I was fed
Mm,
up with being used as a uh, emotional ball. But yeah, that was a good decision rather than a bad decision. Um, yeah, I can't actually think of anything really.
Well, that's awesome. And you were saying you had to make that uncomfortable decision to step out of that marriage because you know that a lot of women don't make that choice. The familiar is better in their eyes, even though it's uncomfortable and it's not a
Mm.
good situation. Being in that familiar zone seems safe instead of stepping outside into that uncertainty.
Mm. Yes, it really I've got a pretty strong character, which wasn't appreciated really.
Mm,
And I was there were all sorts of things that obviously went on. It wasn't just one or two
mhm,
things
yeah.
over time. I was there for 14 years, and it probably started to go wrong at about 6 years, I would say. And if it wasn't for my lovely late mum leaving me some money, I probably wouldn't have been able to leave.
Mm,
Um, but I made the decision to leave. A friend of mine said, "Yes, no problem, I'll help you." Last minute, she pulled out, and I was up for 48
mm.
hours moving all my stuff.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it did hit me about 3 months later, as they normal things, normal movement of time. It's normally 3 months, so I was off work for a little while. But yes, my best friend noticed a difference within a week. Oh, she said, "You're
Wow.
back again."
Wow, that is so cool.
Yeah,
Man, you got
but
back to your true self, it sounds
yeah,
like. Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. And that kind of what I heard was were at first you didn't listen to your inner self. You said what, 6 years in, you kind of
Mm,
and but you went longer. I mean, how many of us miss those inner whispers or disregard them or just out and out ignore them? And
mm.
then we end up down the road, it's even worse than what it would have been if we would have listened in the first place.
Yes, it's always the way, isn't it? You don't. It's like taking the wrong turning on a road, or making that, you know, oh, well, I'll go down that way, and your gut instinct is saying, well, you should have gone that way. And I've done that so many times and got stuck in traffic jams, and if only I'd taken that
Yeah,
decision
yeah.
that I was going to go that way, not that way.
Metaphorically and literally, huh?
Yes,
Get
yes.
stuck in a traffic jam. Oh my gosh. I do want to come back around to the concept of cards
Yes.
and, greeting cards, which I'm guessing some people might think, oh, that's old school. Everything's online, digital, texts and just email somebody and send them a digital card and everything seems to be done digitally nowadays. So are you
Mm.
finding that people want to get back to the paper
Yeah.
or I mean, obviously it's working for you, but
Well, if you look at it this way, a card is received through the post, which is lovely. And it's a memory from somebody, whether it's birthday or I'm thinking of you or whatever it might be. You could put that in a frame if you like the card. You could always get it
mm-hmm.
out, have a cup of tea, reread it.
Yeah,
Couldn't really do that with a text message or an
that is
email. It's not quite the same.
that is true.
Looking at from the sustainability point of view, it's not sustainable, our electronic stuff, our
Mm-hmm.
noise that we have.
Yeah.
We need a computer, we need data centers, we need
Mhm.
satellites. None of that is sustainable.
Right.
A card is sustainable. The wood is grown particularly for the pulp. So it's a sustainable source or sourced sustainably to produce the cards, and you're supporting British artists or artists globally. and
Hmm.
you're supporting the print industry within that area that you're supporting.
That's a good point.
That is far more sustainable than any of the electronic noise.
That's a very good point. I never would have thought of that. But I know I love getting cards, and I still send out cards, thank you cards to this
Mm,
day. And I love that my three daughters follow the same pattern. They'll send
mm,
me a thank you card after a holiday visit or something, and they'll send
yeah.
our, relatives or friends thank you. I just love that.
Mm,
I absolutely love it. I think it does take some effort. It's going to take you longer than sending a text, but I appreciate the effort that people put into it
yeah.
when they take the time to get the card, write it,
Yeah,
put the stamp on
exactly.
it, put
It's
it in
the
the
whole
mail.
thing. Exactly that. Exactly that. It's the appreciation
Hmm.
of all that. And I was taught about the age of 4 or 5 to write my thank you letters at Christmas and after my birthday.
Hmm.
I still do that today.
Yeah, that's so cool. I love that. And I love that my next generation, my kids have done that. My grandkids have been taught to do that.
Mm,
It's just a lovely way of showing your appreciation, your love for other people in
yeah.
a way that a
It's,
digital one's not gonna,
not going to
work
cut
out
it.
for you.
No.
But I save cards. I mean, I don't save them all because I'd be inundated with them over the years, but I do save certain ones that
Yeah.
have a special meaning. And this, I remember when my mom passed, and it wasn't cards, but it were letters, handwritten letters that she
Hmm.
was evidently, I mean, we could only figure it out from context because we didn't know the story behind it. But these really small handwritten letters to a pen pal in Egypt. And they were folded and flattened. I don't even know where we found them, like hidden away somewhere. And we read them, and it was like, oh my God, this is so cool. Like it was a piece of her history that we knew nothing about. It was never
Mm,
mentioned to us. And it was just a beautiful thing to find. Just like photos, printed photos. We found all kinds of old photos that she
mm.
had in desk drawers and every other place. And
Yes.
and now I think about that. Not that I've taken a lot of action on it, but we don't print photos that much anymore.
No. No, it's a very good point because w with everything digital, our social history is actually hidden in computers and on phones
Yeah,
and in
yeah,
data
yeah,
centers.
yeah.
It's all hidden there, and it's not, as you say. Some people that I'm involved with a photography group over here, and the professional photographer who leads it, he makes up a photographic memory book. Every single year, he chooses his best photographs and he gets
Mm.
it made up into a book so he can look through and, just look at the photographs every year that
Yeah,
he's
that's a
taken.
beautiful thing for him as a professional to do that.
Yeah.
Um, I know when my kids were young, that was, remember, scrapbooking? Like that was a big thing.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know how
Yes.
big it is nowadays, but back
Oh, it's
then,
coming back. It's
is
had
it
a
coming back?
renaissance. Yeah.
Maybe because they're thinking the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
But
maybe.
I have tons of, I probably have 15, if not more, scrapbooks that I did eventually because I had so many photos.
Mm.
And I have only two granddaughters, and the oldest one always gets a lot of photos taken because you got the time. And then the
Yeah.
second one, and then if you have more kids, there's even fewer photos. But even my youngest granddaughter, when she was young, realized there were not as many photos of her as there were of her sister. So this for Christmas, I had photo albums made for each of the girls
Hmm.
with a previous trip that we all took together last year so that it was the same book, but I just made
Yeah.
sure I had a copy for each of them so that
Yeah.
she would have some photos of herself. And then,
Well, it's the memories, isn't it?
yeah,
Because, as you
exactly.
say, yes,
Exactly.
the photographs that we have, at my when I was I can't remember what it's called now, but when I took my first communion because my mum was quite
Hmm.
religious,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
photographs of that with my carrot orange hair, which isn't now.
Oh, that doesn't
But
surprise me any that you had red hair.
yeah, but it's all of those sorts of things. And when you ride a horse for the first time. I used to ride horses.
Mm.
So there's all those sorts of things, and there are photographs that I found from my late gran and mum that I don't even know who any of them are
Right.
because there's
Right.
nothing written.
Right. Anyway, the whole idea behind printed photos has always kind of been in my head. Like you said, they're all trapped in our phones, they're all trapped digitally. And when I pass from this world, are they going to be able to find photos of
No.
me? So I've kind of been very conscious of that the last couple of years, is to
Yeah.
leave some kind of printed record behind
Mm.
so that people, after me will find those and get a little bit excited, like, "Ooh, what's this?"
Yes. And it's a good point, isn't it? It really is a good point because it means that our social history, family history, isn't going to be there like it used to be.
Yeah, yeah, that's huge, man. Wow.
Yeah.
So
And it's the
something,
same. Sorry.
no, please go ahead.
And it's the same when we have people now that don't maybe believe in getting married. So
Mhm.
you've got that as a is problematic with family history, um, because there's no line
Oh,
of
yeah, good
marriage
point.
and the
Good
children,
point.
who's named as the children take,
Right,
you
right.
know. So there's that as well to think of in the future. It's family history is going to be broken by that, I think, because the it's just not going to be there.
That's a really good point. I have not thought about that. I know I'm not a big traditionalist person. My husband is, like, things that are being done traditionally are really important to him. I'm okay, but I don't mind breaking it neither. But that's a good point. There are some traditions that are probably worthwhile, even though they sound a little old-fashioned-y, like getting married,
Yes.
whatever. But that's a good point. I never would have thought about that.
Mm,
Like
yeah.
people
And
go
yeah,
do the what's it called? The genealogy.
that's
You're
right.
right. That's going to be piecemeal or whatever if you're
Yeah.
not
And
legally connected.
that's right. And the same when people do the same, we're going into the graveyards, looking
Mhm.
for names on gravestones for family when they're not actually got the family name.
Oh yeah. Wow, that's a really good point.
Mm,
Whew. And I do know a couple people in that situation, and I'm sure that's something they have not thought about.
mm. Probably not. No, no.
Yeah, wow. Great, great thoughts that you brought up. Thank you so much for that.
My pleasure.
And I
That's
hope
all
we've
right.
done that for our listeners, just got you to start thinking about certain things, planted some seeds, see
Hmm.
where your own mind goes with what we've introduced here, what we've talked about. I could probably talk for a lot longer, but I'm going to let you go. I know you're in the UK, so you're on a way different time zone than me. But how can people get a hold of you? Your cards are only sent out within that area, correct?
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm on LinkedIn, Carolyn Hobbs, Queen of Cards, and on other socials, Carolyn's Card Box, as my logo there says.
Mhm.
And yes, so that's the @ sign, Carolyn's Card Box. So on Facebook, Instagram, and I think probably Twitter as well, which I don't use a great deal, but I do post occasionally on there.
That's more than I do, so good for you. And I do want to thank you for that. I do want to mention you have your own podcast, Carolyn's Chit Chat, as we could see in your
Yeah.
background there. So I encourage you to go check her out on YouTube, subscribe there as well. And I'm going to put up my little sign, subscribe, subscribe for me too. Share, comment, like. We'd
I
love to
like
hear
that
your
sign.
comments.
That's good.
That's because I always forgot. I have a little
Love it.
visual prop to help me remember.
That's great. That is.
So yes, connect with Caroline if you know anybody in that country. If you just want to check out her videos, go talk, go listen in on her conversations. I'm sure they're just as enchanting as this one has been. So thank you so much, Carolyn. So appreciate you. Appreciate what you're doing out there for people in the world, keeping them connected so that they have something that their kids will find after they're gone. They'll find
Yeah.
some of those cards that they got.
Yes. Hopefully so.
All right, Carolyn. Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody who's listened in. We so appreciate you. If you know of somebody who might resonate with this conversation, please share this video, and we will see you the next time on Evolving Women. Bye bye.
Bye.